So I've never been a huge Brett Favre fan. I don't know, maybe because I grew up a Patriots fan. I don't know. Just never was a huge Brett Favre. I mean, obviously, tremendous quarterback, Hall of Famer. Really was a lot of fun to watch. Didn't he have that massage situation where apparently one of the masseuses that were giving him a massage, she claimed that he forced her to perform sexual acts on him? Remember that whole situation?
Well, and then he also, well, I don't think it's allegedly, I think it's true, sent a dick pic, as they call it, to a woman as well.
Did you say that on the radio?
I think so.
Penis pic. You know, it's funny.
He's got a long
phallus photo.
His sexual escapades go way back to his Green Bay days.
Yeah.
And probably before then too.
It's actually funny. Real quickly, you just reminded me of something. I'm doing an interview with Bob Saget live, and he used the term penis. And then he says to me on the air, America's Funniest Home Videos now turned dirty comic. He has been for years. He said, "Brian, can I say penis on the air?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "I think you can." And then Bob Saget goes, "What about sick penis?" I said, "I think that's okay." It's okay. So I don't think you broke any FCC regulations there. But anyway, speaking of which.
By the way, Brian, I was correct. Biden has not done a press conference or a news conference where the media has been able to respond to.
You said he hasn't made any public appearances.
I was wrong about that.
Days,
I was wrong about that.
I was willing to place a bet on that.
But you're talking about Delaware State, a small appearance with some students and a select group of media.
All you want, but
that is not a legitimate press conference or news
conference. Well, you can't backtrack.
If the media is not able to respond.
Okay, I wanted to move on. No, I didn't know we were still.
I wanted to defend myself.
You said you were wrong.
I'm done defending. I was incorrect, partially incorrect.
Okay,
I'm done defending myself.
Right. Yeah, you said he didn't make any public appearances. I was willing to make you a bet on that. You were 100% wrong, not partially wrong. He has made public appearances. That's all we're talking about. All right, so I want to move on to Brett Favre. So over the weekend, he made some controversial comments. NFL quarterback turned activist now, Colin Kaepernick. He said in regards to Colin Kaepernick, he called Colin Kaepernick hero status, like former NFL star Pat Tillman, who was killed in action in Afghanistan after leaving football to join the Army following 9/11. Brett Favre said, quote, "I can only think of right off the top of my head Pat Tillman's another guy who did something similar, and we regard him as a hero." Folks, I can't even begin to tell you how much this bothers me. I can't. Those of you that listen to the show know I'm not a big Colin Kaepernick guy. Pat Tillman risked his life for this country and lost his life because of it. Colin Kaepernick on social media says believe in something even if it means sacrificing everything. Let's talk about that for a second. Sacrificing everything is losing your life. Pat Tillman sacrificed everything. What has Colin Kaepernick sacrificed? Being a third-rate quarterback in the NFL? He's made more money off the field than on the field. The fact that Brett Favre would have the audacity and the ignorance, for that matter, because I don't think Brett Favre is a very intelligent person.
It's just sheer stupidity, Brian.
To compare a man who lost his life fighting for this country to a man who takes a knee and is a third-rate quarterback who might not even be in the NFL today because he might not have the skill set to do it.
Oh, he's not good enough.
Is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard a former athlete say in my life. And I'm being serious on that, by the way. I'm not just making that statement. I'm being serious. You know, I didn't like it when LeBron James said African Americans, every time they leave their house, they think they're hunted down. I think he was wrong. I'm going to tell you something. What Brett Favre said here is worse, in my personal opinion. To compare a man who lost his life fighting for this country to a man who took a knee and is making more money off the field and signed a 7-figure, maybe 8-figure deal with Nike is a joke.
Well, and he didn't even, that was very loud. And he didn't even take the knee when his career was going well. He did it on the downswing after he led the league in fumbles. And he had 11 fumbles.
Pat Tillman, by the way.
Pat Tillman voluntarily, and you didn't mention this, but he voluntarily left the NFL to join the service.
I want to talk about that, what you're saying. He died at the age of 27 in 2004. He joined the Army Rangers in 2002. He just turned down a $3.6 million contract from the Arizona Cardinals.
To defend his country.
Have you seen any contracts that Colin Kaepernick has turned down? Oh, no, I think
I can. Arena Football League.
Yeah, I think he signed a contract with Nike. He signed that contract, didn't he? He didn't say, no, I don't want to sign a contract with Nike because I don't want to be looked at as someone that's taking advantage of my, I guess my platform. No, Kaepernick signed on the dotted line. He took that money. And for the minorities out there that look to Colin Kaepernick as a hero, give me a break. Look at Martin Luther King as a hero. I mean, there are so many African Americans in our society today, and that are no longer with us that you could look up to and say, wow, what a hero. But let me tell you something. Colin Kaepernick is no hero. He's no hero. Now, if you want to take the stand that, he took a knee because his heart was in the right place and he cares about this issue, fine. We can have that conversation. But compare him to a man who died fighting for this country. I don't care what the color of your skin is. This is a disgrace. And we'll open up the phone line,
right,
702.
He didn't just die for his country. He was in the NFL. He was going to make $4 million.
Let me just open up the phone lines.
Which is worth like 7 or 8 now. And he decided to leave the NFL, join the service, and fight for his country because he felt like he needed to do that. It's so completely opposite of what Colin Kaepernick did.
What do you guys think out there? 702-257-5396. Again, the number to call is 257-5396. Are you okay with Brett Favre comparing Pat Tillman, a man who died at 27, fighting for this country in battle, to Colin Kaepernick, a man who, to my knowledge, has not sacrificed anything? If you want to make the argument that Colin Kaepernick sacrificed his career, what career? What career did Colin Kaepernick have when he left the NFL? He was a third-rate quarterback. He was never going to be a starter again. His career was on the downswing. And that's when he decided to take a knee and sign a big deal with Nike. And he's more of a star than he ever would have been on the field. And Brett Favre is so uneducated and he's so ignorant and he's such a disgrace. You want to talk about a disgrace? All you people out there that think players taking a knee is a disgrace to the flag and you're crapping on the men and women in uniform, I want you to have that same anger towards Brett Favre because that's what he did to you. That's a disgrace. Not taking a knee during the national anthem, in my opinion. You know what's a disgrace? Comparing a man who died fighting for this country to a man who takes a knee during a national anthem. That is a disgrace. That is exactly what Brett Favre did, and it's nonsense. It's nonsense. I'm going to tell you something. I have a lot more problem with what Brett Favre did than what Drew Brees did.
The picture?
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It drives me nuts.
I'll tell you what people won't forgive about Brett Favre when he played for the Minnesota Vikings. That was a real stick in the eye to Packers fans.
Yeah, that was rough. That was a rough go for Brett.
Can I ask
for sure.
What is going through?
I actually liked him in his Falcons days, in his Southern Mississippi days. Brian, it's so crazy how these are the exact opposite situations. Colin Kaepernick has 11 fumbles. He's probably about to lose his job. Alex Smith comes in. And then, or not Alex Smith, but he's about to lose his job, and then he decides he has a conversation with someone in the military who says that you should kneel because of what's going on in the country, and he does, and he gets all this press for it. He wears the Kunta Kinte shirt at the tryout, and he signs a big deal with Nike, and he wears the Fidel Castro socks, et cetera, et cetera. He does that because he knows his career is about to be over, and he wants to draw attention to himself, and that's exactly what he did. It was a clout-chasing move, and it worked out for him swimmingly. Congrats, Colin Kaepernick. Pat Tillman has one of his best seasons. He has a major contract coming his way. He decides, nope, I'm not going to take this contract. He's actually at the upswing, probably near the peak of his career, and he says, you know what? I'm done with the NFL. I want to join my country. I've made my money. I want to join my country. I want to fight for my country because I think that I should have to do so. I mean, the two are so different. I mean, they're completely polar opposite situations. And for Brett Favre to call this situation with Colin Kaepernick more moving or better than the Pat Tillman situation, you're right. It's probably the craziest thing I've ever heard in the history of professional sports.
Oh, it's embarrassing.
It probably is. Now that being said, what LeBron James said, where he claimed that every single African American human being in the United States is going to be hunted when they leave their house, that was not good. That was a horrible thing to say, and a lot of young African American kids probably actually think now that every single white person is trying to hunt them and kill them. That's not true. But just the fact that these were two totally different. They were on completely different spectrums, and Brett Favre is calling one of them better than the other one as a method of pandering. To me, Brett Favre just lost himself a fan.
We're talking about Brett Favre, the comments he made comparing Colin Kaepernick to Pat Tillman. Make no mistake about it, Pat Tillman is a hero, and he paid the ultimate price. Pat Tillman risked everything. Can you guys please explain to me, what the hell did Colin Kaepernick risk? What, his failing NFL career? He makes more money off the field than on the field. Now, for Brett Favre to make that statement, we should have more anger towards Brett Favre, certainly, than Drew Brees. I think what Drew Brees did was poor timing. He made a mistake. But all the anger and people saying they'll never forgive Drew Brees. What about Brett Favre? No, because the African Americans out there that are on TV and have prominent voices are going to agree with Brett Favre. That's why. It's a double standard. It's wrong. What Brett Favre did, in my personal opinion, is far worse than anything that Drew Brees said in that video about the national anthem. Yes, I don't agree with what Drew Brees did. I think it was bad timing. But to ostracize Drew Brees when Brett Favre wants to compare somebody who risked their life for this country and paid the ultimate price and died to Colin Kaepernick, who for all intents and purposes just took a knee on a football field and donated some money to some charities, it's absurd. And it makes absolutely no sense.